Joining me now is Michael Weiner, as gold is at $4,340 an ounce. Silver is at almost, it's at $66.28, over $66 an ounce. Michael Weiner, welcome back to the broadcast. Thanks for being with us.
Good evening, Brandon. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much. All right, tell me, Michael, what does this mean? Silver at $66.22. What do you make of this?
Well, with silver right now, what's really going on is the fact that it's been oversold for a long time. We've been lied to by our own government. We've been lied to by the banks. We've been lied to by the mines. And what they're finding out right now is there isn't any. We're finding out that the United States government's declared silver to be a critical metal.
So you're telling me there's a shortage of silver?
Absolutely. The United States government 2.5 months ago declared silver to be a critical metal, which means there isn't enough. And the problem is that silver usage as part of industrially is huge, especially all these data centers putting in. What do you think they're going to use in all these data centers? Just like they use in the solar energy, they're going to be using a lot of silver. And the bottom line is they don't have enough. And they're literally two factions. There's one faction that is looking at it financially. There's another faction that's looking at it physically. And that conundrum is creating a huge problem within the marketplace. That's why I predicted it's going to hit over 60 before the end of the year, and here we are. I'm predicting literally by the first quarter of next year, we're going to be close to $75. And by the end of the year, silver could become the new copper, literally. And for the people to understand copper, back in the Stone Age, as Brandon said, when I was around, copper was I could sell a copper contract, 10,000 pound copper contract in 1979 for $700, 10,000 pounds, 7 cents a pound. Now, where's copper? $4.50, 60 cents, whatever. Silver is going to become that way because of the fact that it's been critical and we have been lied to. Just like so many things going on right now, it's misinformation. I couldn't be more upset than I am about the misinformation that's coming up about this year by the industry and by the government and by the suppliers. And that's not just on silver. I'm talking the stocks, mutual funds, bonds, money, everything. It's the year-end lies. That's what I call it.
Okay, so what do you say to those who are saying that silver has decoupled from gold? Would you agree, and what does that mean?
I think silver has never been really coupled to gold. I think there's a lot of misstatements. Understand the fact the last big drop in silver was in 2011, November, right after Thanksgiving. Now, the gold market went down 25%. Silver went down almost 80%. They've always been on their own. But you had silver dragging gold for a while because of the fact that the people manipulating it, it's not just the miners, it's not just the banks, it's not just the technology firms. Guess who else it is? The people that salvage silver. They don't throw things away that have silver in it. They salvage it. And the salvage industry is huge in silver. So there's so many fingers in the pot. And on top of that, that keeps it private, but has been suppressed by banks, by governments, and now that's coming on its own. I'm not saying silver is the next gold. I will never believe that. Because silver is an industrial metal, 50-50 industrial, 50% monetary. Gold is all monetary right now. Gold is money. But the big issue that we see next year going on with silver is all these data centers they're going to be building. They're in the United States. They've got all this money, let alone outside the United States. Where are they going to get this silver? And you got China jumping on trying to buy some of it. And then we go into the technology militarily and all the AI changes, all involving new equipment, all involving silver. So silver is going to be very, very highly used. Like I said, $90 to $100. Okay.
$90 to $100 by when?
End of next year.
End of next year. Okay. So the $50 was the high we had to get back to, right?
Yes, we're beyond that. Right?
So now we're at 67. So anything beyond 50 broke the record. We had to hit back to 50. Now we're going into territory we've never been before.
Absolutely.
Same with gold too, right?
Same with gold. I mean, when we sat there, we sat here last January, and you and I were on at the beginning of the year, and so gold was $2,500, and I said, Brandon, gold's going to be $3,000 by March, and you go, you can replay the show. You're going, Are you kidding? And I said, no, I'm not. And it hit 3,000 by the middle of March. It's going to be the same thing this year. By the middle of March, you're going to see gold somewhere around 4,800, heading close to 5,000. I think that there's a lot of factors monetarily that are going to go into effect with the Genius Act. That will have a positive effect on silver too. So they're going to play off each other somewhat. I guess it's going to really, really play on each other. And I think that silver will be actually supported at times that the manipulators try to go in by the strength of the gold market, because they can't manipulate gold anymore. Gold is on its own. Gold is a monetary instrument. That's why Jamie Dimon, and that's why our dear friend Moynihan from B of A predicts $6,000 gold next year. But these comments that are being made that everything's great in the country and we've got the greatest of this and we're the hottest country in the world. The problem is that the people in the middle don't feel it. You're not speaking to us. You might be speaking to some guy in Qatar, but it's not working with me. Okay, I need to see some real relief. When I see the unemployment rate go up as it did yesterday, when I see the tariffs still not decided and creating prices that still have a problem, when I see Basant going on TV telling us that everything's going to be great, it's going to be a spectacular year, that's not putting money in my pocket right now. And that's what's bothering the Americans, and that's why Trump's favorability rating is below 40 right now, because of the fact that people aren't buying it. And that's why gold is going to be so strong, because the Democrats are also going to attack on that. We've got another factor next year, and that is the socialist communists attacking. And who cares if it's one party, but this other party doesn't want to even have America. They want to have a one party, one monetary global system. That's all going to feed into this. And that's why it's so important for people who are benign, paying attention, to turn on the TV and turn on the lights upstairs in their heads and say, you know what? I've got to be one dimensional. I've got to put things in my pocket. I've got to put things in my control that I control, because you've got to understand these people in Washington are the ones controlling your money. They're the ones really can sit back and lock you out of your dollars with a snap of your fingers. But if you own gold and you control it physically or even in your IRA, the government doesn't. You do. What sounds better? You tell me. I'm done.
Yeah, you tell me. All right, so the data centers all need silver. There's not enough silver above the ground. And how long will it take these miners to dig it out of the ground, mint it, and get it to the production going for the AI data centers? And then the other, isn't silver used in like 1,200 plus applications, industrial? There's silver in your computers, your cell phone, I think even in your windshield, is there
catalytic converters?
Mm-hmm.
Catalytic converters. Understand the fact that it's not going to be fast enough. They'll get more silver out of the salvage market than they'll get it out of here. There's a company called Unicor in the federal prison system, and there's some of the facilities there. My son, who worked for the government, told me these guys, all they do is break down old computers and pull whatever silver is out of it. Literally, right now. Silver is a critical metal, and I'll make this prediction. By the middle of next year, gold will be declared a critical metal. Mm. It's just that, where are they going to get it from? It's not something that's in abundance right now.
Are you ever worried about confiscation if it's such a critical metal for the government?
Absolutely.
Really?
That's why you and I talk about absolutely. Because if the Democrats get involved with this country, they're the ones that made it illegal for 40 years to own gold.
Wouldn't that create, do you think the American people are going to agree to give it back?
They didn't agree before. I mean, look at when somebody says something's not possible in this country, think about it. We had this country in 1933. They casually shut down the banks. They locked the doors and put a sign on the window that said bank holiday. And what did you do? Bang on the door? They still didn't let you in. And then in 1971, Nixon illegally took us off the gold standard, and our money went from, we talked about it last week, went from being worth something to being worth nothing.
Yeah.
If you went the day before that happened, they had to pay you in silver or gold. The next day, they gave you a ticket to the men's room. You had nothing. You had paper. So when people talk about digital currency, theoretically, you're dealing with monopoly money right now. It doesn't matter. But the gold is something you physically can control and manage on your own. But, understand the fact that the Democrats, if they turn around and do this, that's why a good percentage of the gold that you control is numismatic, because that same law allows people to own collectible metal. And that goes back to the 1930s. There was a guy named Harry Helmsley, and before your time, Brandon, I know you know, Leonora Helmsley was his famous wife who went to prison for tax evasion. There was a billionaire who went to prison for tax evasion, and her husband died. Harry was partners with a guy named Eliason, who in the 30s, the two of them bought the Chrysler building. And some of the money they used to pay for it was collectible coins. And they tried to dispute it, still worked. So this is tried and true. That's why we tell people to try to keep some of the collectible coins in their possession, make some of the collectible coins something that they hold, because it's the one thing that is totally vanilla. It's just like I told you the story about the gentleman who came here from California, and he lives here now. And I see him usually once a month because he buys every month right now. It's just like a savings plan to him. And at the end of the day, he just loves the story about how he got a check for 500 and some thousand. He didn't have to turn off a blood type to make it happen. It's amazing if you go into a hospital and check in. I had a client of mine, he's a Worldview client, and I'll share this with the people out there who wonder about California right now. This was today. Today I talked to him. He called me because he wanted to take advantage of the year-end specials on gold that we have with the state liquidations. And he says to me, Michael, I was robbed outside the bank, right on the curb. I was parked my car. They watched me when they came out. They hit me on the head, grabbed my envelope with my money in it, and ran away. I called 911 in Los Angeles, sat there for 34 minutes waiting for a call back from 911. He called him 4 times. Finally, he got in the car and drove to the police station. And the policeman told him, "You're probably better going to get an EMT person just go to the hospital. We can't get him here that fast." And he said, "What about my money? What about there's cameras out there?" He said, "We're not going to have time for that." That's life in Cal. He turned around and said, "I'm moving out of here. I don't feel safe. How can I feel safe when I can't even be protected, literally, and get a police officer to come help me when I'm robbed?"
Nope, you can't.
Think about it.
Yep. Hey, let's go to Besant, the Treasury Secretary, on the Trump accounts. I want to know what you think about these Trump accounts. Here we go. Listen. Oh, I need to plug it in. I guess the cord for this is on the ground, guys. So if someone wants to come grab the cord, I'll plug it in. In the meantime, if you want the free packet of information from Michael Weiner, there you go. 1-877, I don't even know what it is. 1-866-738-3222. No, it's 1-877. I don't know. You'll have to put it up there. I have too many numbers. 1-877-864-1072. I just need you to get me started. 1-877-864-1072 or worldviewgold.com. All right. Thank you, Logan. Here is the Secretary of the Treasurer.
Make young Americans wealthy.
All right. Let's get it. Let's get it again. Make young Americans wealthy again, huh?
Make young Americans wealthy. The S&P has grown at a rate of 10.5% each year on average since the 1950s. Assuming that growth rate continues, a single $1,000 deposit into a Trump account at birth will grow to over $600,000 by the age of retirement. Our president is putting the American dream within reach of every citizen, no matter the circumstances of birth. When young Americans turn 28, They can use their Trump accounts to keep saving for their retirement, or they can use them to purchase a home or further their education, two hallmarks of the American dream. Trump accounts will benefit from the compound growth of Treasury's initial seed funding, but they can also benefit from outside donations. Starting on July 4th, our nation's 250th anniversary, parents, family members, employers, and friends will be able to contribute up to $5,000 to each Trump account each year. By contributing the maximum amount each year, the Council of Economic Advisors estimates that a child's Trump account would be worth more than $1 million by the time they turn 28.
Great, and you can buy a car, because that's about what a car will cost you, $1 million. I'm not buying this. Treasury Secretary Percent just revealed the Trump accounts can grow to over $600,000 by retirement. This is genius, okay? Percent says he believes employers will offer matching contributions to Trump accounts as well. The long game. This is really how it's done. The president's putting American dream within reach of every American. If the inflation rate continues for the next 30 years, what it has been the last 30 years, I think I read not too long ago that the average house would be like $1.6 million. A car is going to cost you $200,000. So I know this sounds great, but I'm really not for the government coming up with all these ideas to try to supposedly create wealth for the. What I am for is for cutting the tax rate, cutting regulation, getting rid of the scam of the Social Security tax we have to pay, and let us invest and let them invest their own money in their own business, whatever. I'm not buying this. I'm really not. I mean, when the government shows up and says, "I'm here to help you," what did Ronald Reagan say? That's scary, right? And so they're going to try to make you rich. Well, good luck. You got $600,000 under inflation. You'll be lucky to buy a hamburger.
Well, the big problem with the whole thing is they don't talk about the exit strategy. It's just like the same sales pitch they did in the 30s when they created Social Security. The problem is, what did the government do to Social Security? They borrow all the money every week. So do you honestly believe that if they start putting away this money and those guys in Congress, there's about $20 billion sitting there in those accounts for those kids, we'll just give it to them in their Social Security account. They will find a way to get their hands on it just the way they got it to Social Security. You think I trust them? I don't. If my comment would be, you want to give it to the American people, let the parents run that account.
That's right.
Not the government. Why does the government have to run it? You don't trust us. That's what they're saying. They're saying the parents will spend it. You want to know what? My answer to that is, let them spend it. If you're going to give it to the children, let the parents manage the account. But as long as the government's managing it, and all due respect, the founders were right. They put us under the gold standard so these idiots couldn't spend more money than they had gold in Fort Knox. We went off of that in 71, and from 1971 to now, 38 trillion with a T in debt. And guess what? Do you honestly think they're going to be able to pay it back? The only way they can do that is by devaluing. Do you think when they start building up a big block of cash that they're going to sit back and not dip their little fingers in it? Every single time it's there, they dip their fingers in it. They borrow against it. They spend it. So to me, the only solution for something like this, and I liked the idea at first, was I thought they were giving it to us. I didn't think they were going to have something else they controlled. How many people know what's in their Social Security account, and how many people really understand that you don't control it? They do. You don't have access to it? They do. You don't even sit back and have the ability to leave it to your family. They do. And like myself, if your better half passes away too early, you don't get anything. So, that's a big reason why they did Obamacare. They wanted us to die, the older people to die, so that way they can get our Social Security money. Understand really what's going on here is when we look at Social Security, they're trying to nationalize retirement plans. Obama tried it in 2012. Biden's tried it. They call it GRP, Government Retirement Program. And what they want to do is take up all of these $60 to $80 trillion in retirement dollars and then issue you Treasury credit into your Social Security account. And guess what, Mr. Smith? You're going to get a bigger check. But you have no access to the money. You have no beneficiaries. You have nothing. It's just government, big brother. And that's why Reagan created gold IRAs, because he wanted people to own something in their retirement plan that the government did not have access to. Gold IRAs, different than paper IRAs, they can't get it. They got to take you to court. They got to emancipate it. Gives you freedom to do things while they try to take it, right? If they want to grab up paper assets, like I told you, in 33, they locked the bank. In 71, they shut down they didn't shut down the country at all. They just made your money worthless. And in March 2020, when Trump shut the country down, what happened? You couldn't get to your bank or your ATM machine. Did you have a vote? Did you have a choice? No. That's why you control your assets and physical ideals like gold IRAs, gold physical, and you keep drinking the Kool-Aid like they're selling right now for the year end. All these geniuses, it's going to be a spectacular 2026. We're all going to make money. Yeah, they're going to make money. You're darn right. Win or lose, they will make money. You won't.
Yeah, look at this headline, Mike. Federal Reserve withdraws 2023 guidance blocking uninsured banks from crypto. That sounds dangerous.
Yep.
That sounds like a great way for banks to go gambling on crypto, and then, oops, where'd the money go?
It's giving them a gateway to just play with your money, and at the end of the day, that's why they have bail-in, which is another. We could go on with these situations. I'm not selling worldview right now. It's one of the world's this country's only venue where you're getting the truth. And what they preach to you at Worldview, besides what we're talking about with gold, what they try to tell you to do is be self-reliant.
That's right.
With food, frozen food, be it with your phones, be it with all the products and things that they put together for you, are all about independence. It's all about self-reliance, and that's what we have to get behind and support for Worldview at all times, because it's one of the last places that you get this type of support. We at Swiss America, it's like I'm talking to somebody right now, it's one of the people that work through this. We don't charge you for ongoing information. We don't charge you for guidance on what you should do. But I've got a Worldview client right now that's been dealing with me, since Brandon and I have been together, and we've literally sat back and built up for his retirement, literally a $2.5 million profit in 18 years. Wow. 2.5, doubled the money. Okay. It wasn't, and we both say it was never about making money. It was always about security. He's secure, he's financially set, and he controls his retirement, not Charles Schwab.
And not a bank who decided to go play the crypto. The Federal Reserve has announced a withdrawal of its 2023 guidance that effectively prevented uninsured banks from becoming members of the Federal Reserve System and engaging in cryptocurrency activities. This guidance was a key factor in the Fed's previous denial of a master account to a Custodia bank, a financial institution seeking to integrate crypto services. The move marks a significant shift in the Fed's stance on the involvement of uninsured banks in the crypto sector, potentially opening new opportunities for these institutions. But yeah, can we talk about the risk, right? The risk, right, Michael?
Yeah, it's extremely risky, but they don't care. It's just like, when they're talking about the situation with the various different types of things that they offer at the banks that they have right now that legitimately are way oversold and not covered. And nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody bothers with it. They let them get away with it.
Worldviewgold.com, worldviewgold.com, or 1-877-864-1072. I knew it then. I just had to have my memory refreshed. 1-877-864-1072, or worldviewgold.com. Silver over $66 tonight. Gold at $4,338, over $66. You see a correction coming in or not between now and the end of the year?
I think there might be some mini bumps, but right now these idiots in Washington are screwing things up so bad, it's making it very difficult to have it. And I have clients asking me, well, we're going to get a correction. So I say, okay, let's say it drops $100. Is that going to make your day? I mean, we're not in this for day trading. If you're going to do that, go buy an option. I'm not that guy. We're long term. I mean, when we bought we talked in January, I think it was 2480 or something. It went down to 2200 and then went straight up. You can't, we're not these wheelers and dealers. We're stability people.
Absolutely. Worldviewgold.com, worldviewgold.com.
I want to mention that my Christmas present for the family, the House family, is there. That includes Dolly.
It arrived today. And it had some beautiful apples and oranges. And
crackers for Dolly.
And some other stuff I saw in there. I can't remember now, but pears. I love pears. I said it was a well-known company. I said, so who is this from? Is it safe to eat this? And and my wife said, first of all, it's from this company. They packed it up. This is a reputable company. And then I said, well, who is it from? And so she dug through there and finally said, it's from Michael Weiner. I said, oh, it's definitely not safe to eat. No, I said it's very safe to eat. Now we know it's definitely safe to eat. No, he didn't send us any. He didn't send us any psychedelic mushrooms or anything. It was all very, very stable fruit.
We gave that to the former Secretary of the Treasury. She got them all.
The mushrooms. That's right, the mushrooms. Oh my word.
Yeah, she's real busy. She was real busy being in the Wizard of Oz, Wicked, and all that. She was one of those.
Oh my word. 1-877-864-1072 or worldviewgold.com. But thank you for the apples, the oranges, the pears, crackers. There was other stuff in there. I can't remember what else was in there, Logan.
Meat.
Oh, some meat, some salami. Meat. I love salami.
Yeah, there's lots of stuff.
Yeah, I love salami.
Logan's going to eat it all first.
This is true. It's a beautiful package, by the way. Beautifully packaged, 2 boxes, beautifully packaged. So thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you.
All right. Take care.
All right,
Have a good
that's
evening.
Michael Weiner, worldviewgold.com. And by the way, I do not give financial advice. I give financial opinion. Do your own due diligence. And I think it begins with getting that free, no obligation packet of information from Mr. Weiner at worldviewgold.com. Just fill out the little form online, worldviewgold.com, or call 1-877-864-1072.